Disclaimer. The video serves informational and entertainment purpose only. The content is considered speculative and should not be treated as confirmed fact. We encourage you to conduct your research and form your conclusion.
And if you've ever seen Evita, it is a challenging part to play. And I don't think she has the temerity, the stamina, you pick a word here, in order to pull it off going, every single day that the theater is open.
Literally no idea why he's covered in cake, frosting, goop, slime at the end of the show. What I do love, though, is everybody trying to figure out why it's happening and what the context is. And look, I haven't seen the show. I don't know why it's happening, but the theories are incredible. Some people saying the blue and white represents the Argentinian flag. That's yes, but why is it goopy? I don't know. If you were at the first preview of Evita, or any of the Evita, if you know anything about Evita and why he's covered in stuff, let us know.
The narcissist is going to remain a one-person wrecking crew. Please protect yourself, as their rage and their manipulation can literally make you sick, both mentally and physically. And not calling them out is not enabling. A lot of people say, if I don't call them out, then I'm part of the problem. They're already enabled, and you calling them out in a strange way enables them more.
When a classic musical becomes a culture battle, the stage becomes a war zone. Jamie Lloyd's Evita is under fire, and critics are calling for its shutdown. What's changed, and why now? Picture this: a beloved musical icon, Evita, taking center stage once more. But this time, it's not history or legacy generating buzz, it's controversy. Jamie Lloyd, renowned director known for bold interpretations, has reimagined the story of Eva Peron through a modern social lens. Some call it brilliant reawakening. Others, they say he's turned it into a woke lecture. And now, critics aren't just complaining, they're demanding the show be shut down. But what happens when art and culture collide? When reinterpretation meets resistance? And who gets to draw the line? Tonight, we unpack the controversy, explore the backlash, and ask, in a divided cultural moment, can a musical survive the political storm?
There's a lot of discourse right now about how Jamie Lloyd's production of Evita, starring Rachel Zegler, looks a lot like his production of Sunset Boulevard. And people are like, oh, is he just doing the same thing again? I saw a video just now from the creator Matt Seiler, which I totally agree with, and I'll link it in the caption, where he's talking about how, it doesn't bother me when an artist's work looks like their other work. That's just called having an artistic voice. And I would take that even further and say that it's important to have some context about the style that Jamie Lloyd is working in. I would characterize Jamie Lloyd's work as following in the tradition of European Regie Theater. And if you don't know Regie Theater, it's a German word that originated in opera that literally means director's theater. So describing the practice of, directors having an immense amount of creative control over the production.
They didn't just dislike it, they want it gone. When fans and critics turn on a stage production this hard, it's not just about taste, it's about a culture clash. It started with murmurs, then a few harsh reviews, and now it's a full-blown outcry. Jamie Lloyd's revival of Evita has become the lightning rod of London's theater scene. Why? Because to some, it's no longer the story of Eva Peron. It's a political sermon, a reimagined revolution, dripping in symbolism, stripped of glamour, and, as critics put it, void of humanity. The criticism is fierce. Seasoned reviewers call it hollow, soulless, even a betrayal of the original's power. Audiences walked in expecting spectacle, melody, Argentina's tragic icon. What they got? A minimalist stage, a gender-neutral ensemble, anti-capitalist banners, and monologues about oppression, privilege, and power. Some say it's provocative theater, others say it's propaganda. One viral comment read, "I came to see Eva Peron, not a woke manifesto." Another, "Jamie Lloyd didn't direct Evita, he hijacked it." And that's the spark behind this wildfire. Fans aren't just unhappy. They feel something sacred was taken, a legacy rewritten. Their nostalgia politicized. They're calling it agenda-driven art. They're asking, where's the music, the heart, the passion? And more than that, they're asking for it to end. Petitions, social media campaigns, comment sections flooded with demands, shut it down. But here's the question no one's quite ready to answer. When an artist reinterprets a legend, Do they owe it to the audience to honor the original? Or is that the point of art? To challenge? Because what's really at war here isn't just staging, it's values. Tradition versus transformation, legacy versus lens, entertainment versus activism. The backlash isn't just about Evita, it's about where theater is headed and whether audiences will follow.
Writers lean so hard into feminism that they circle back around to misogyny. I still don't follow. A character learning from their mistakes is the most compelling thing that they can do. So many writers are so hung up on writing a strong, capable woman that they don't let her make any mistakes to learn from. Because women always have to be perfect. Exactly, that's why we so rarely see girl boss characters being held accountable for their actions. Things get blamed on the people around them, society, emotional trauma, and they never take personal responsibility. I never thought of it that way. A lot of writers don't like showing the strong female character as flawed and in need of personal growth, and that's very unsatisfying to viewers and readers.
What happens when a director sees a revolution, but the audience just wants a revival? The space between vision and expectation can become a battlefield. Jamie Lloyd didn't set out to play it safe. He's known for stripping down classics, for tearing away glitter, to expose the raw truth underneath. And with Evita, he saw something different. Not just the rise of a woman to power, but the systems that helped her get there. The oppression, the illusion, the manipulation. To Jamie, Evita wasn't just a biography, it was a warning. So he did what artists do. He rebuilt it, he removed the sequins, he burned the balcony scenes, he pulled it out of history and into the now. Gone were the elaborate sets, the ball gowns, the romance. In their place, black box minimalism, working class aesthetics, a cast dressed in protest, not pageantry. For Lloyd, it was powerful. For some critics, it was theft. Because Evita isn't just a show, it's a memory. It's Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, echoing through childhood. It's Madonna's silhouette on a palace balcony. It's drama, beauty, loss. And when you take all that away, people feel it. The vision was ART, but the audience expected magic. They wanted emotion. They got ideology. They wanted theater. They got theory. And that clash, that uncomfortable mismatch between creator and consumer, that's where outrage is born. Not because it was badly done, but because it wasn't what they came for. Theater is a mirror, but sometimes the reflection is too harsh. And Jamie Lloyd's Evita, it doesn't flatter, it confronts. Which raises a brutal question for modern theater. Is the artist responsible for your comfort or your discomfort? And when a director dares to reinterpret a legend, do they risk relevance or just resistance?
I think that in the future, when we reflect on what happened, it is going to come to be known as the girl bosses who flew too close to the sun, okay? People say that. This is an example of that. Girl boss, I'm a girl boss. I can do whatever I want. Men ain't bleep, men are terrible, whatever. We can do whatever we want in this era.
Rachel Zegler is the prime example of how you should never think that you're bigger than the project. I've never heard of her before. I don't know if this is her first project or if she's done movies like this before or anything that has anything to do with acting before. But girl, this wasn't it. Like, why'd you go and dog your own movie? Dog Disney, dog the writer. She dogged everything. Now she's mad because they done fired her from upcoming projects, but you're not a team player. Why would somebody want to hire you when you don't know how to play your part? Like, you didn't know how to play your part in the movie and in the real world.
This isn't just about a musical anymore. It's about a line in the sand, where art meets agenda and the audience chooses a side. What started as a bold reinterpretation has now become something much bigger. Because the firestorm around Evita, it's not just theater criticism, it's culture war. A battle where one side sees evolution and the other sees erasure. Today, every show, every casting choice, every directorial risk is viewed through a lens. Is it inclusive? Is it political? Is it too political? Audiences are no longer passive. They're activists or adversaries. And in this new landscape, one word gets thrown around more than any other: cancel. Shut it down. This isn't the Evita we paid for. They're pushing an agenda. Some claim the show hijacks Eva Perón's story for a modern message she never stood for. Others argue that reimagining history through today's lens is not just appropriate, it's necessary. But here's the truth. In 2025, anything that dares to say something risks being told to say nothing. And that pressure, it's not just coming from one side. Some demand more politics, more diversity, more confrontation. Others want tradition, legacy, familiarity. And caught between those extremes is the artist, trying to tell a story, trying to do something different, trying not to get buried in the backlash. So now we ask, when does critique become censorship? When does discomfort become a reason to destroy? And who decides when a creative vision crosses a line? Because today, one show getting canceled isn't just a review score. It's a signal to other creators, to institutions, to audiences watching from the sidelines. The message? Step too far, speak too loudly, push too hard, and we'll end you. That's not theater anymore. That's tribalism. And Jamie Lloyd's Evita, it's the latest battleground.
Rachel Zegler, her stock is through the roof after this movie.
I can't believe it. I very much had no interest in seeing Rachel Zegler in any movies heading into this. And watching this made me forget that I really don't like her as an actress.
All is forgiven with the Snow White controversy. Maybe I'm going to show up for it. I thought she was fantastic.
She was really funny.
Yeah! Go, Quinn.
In the end, it's not just about one director or one show. It's about the future of theater itself. Who controls it, who defines it, and who's allowed to take the stage? The curtain may still rise on Evita each night, but behind it, a different drama is playing out. One that isn't scripted, one that doesn't end with a bow. Because this isn't just about Jamie Lloyd's vision. It's about the soul of modern theater. The stage used to be a place for wonder, escape, magic. Now, it's a battlefield of ideas. Directors don't just tell stories anymore, they take stands. Producers aren't just backing art, they're navigating outrage. Audiences don't just applaud, they judge. Was it too political? Not political enough? Too progressive? Too safe? And in that noise, something sacred is being lost. The freedom to explore, to experiment, to risk. Because when fear enters the rehearsal room, creativity exits. When every decision has to survive Twitter, theater starts to shrink, become safer, smaller, quieter. But theater was never meant to be quiet. It was meant to provoke, to challenge, to hold up a mirror, and sometimes to shatter it. So what happens now? Will directors back down? Will audiences retreat into nostalgia? Or will this backlash spark a rebirth? Will it force creators to be bolder, more honest, more fearless? Because maybe the real question isn't, should Jamie Lloyd's Evita be shut down? Maybe it's, what happens to a culture that keeps trying to silence its storytellers? Because theater, true theater, has never been about comfort. It's about confrontation. And in that discomfort, we might just find the truth. And that's the tea for today, my little gossip gremlins. If you enjoyed this drama buffet, don't forget to hit that like button like it's your ex's new partner's Instagram. Aggressively and with zero shame. Beauty. Subscribe to Fame Files so you never miss a single scandal, meltdown, or red carpet disaster. I'm literally serving up hot gossip every single day, even if my Wi-Fi begs me to stop. And listen, be a doll and tap that bell too, okay? Because your girl Macy's got bills to pay, celeb egos to roast, and a grocery cart full of overpriced almond milk that won't buy itself. Shopping cart money. So until next time, stay nosy, stay fabulous, and remember, I spill it so you don't have to sip in silence. Bye.